Well, good evening, America. It is 7 p.m. It is Wednesday, October 21st, and this is Queer News Tonight, the world's first live LGBTQ daily evening news. It is time to queer up the news.
Watch as we bring you these stories and other stories from the LGBTQ headlines. Tiffany Trump's speech at LGBTQ was a total train wreck, and we've got the details.
Atlanta Airport honors 50 years of pride.
Obergefell and Hodges reunite to oppose Amy Coney Barrett's nomination to the Supreme Court. So good evening, America. It is 7 p.m. Wednesday, October 21st, 2020, and it is time to queer up the news. We are literally out of the closet and into the headlines. So many of your stories we're going to tell tonight, this evening, on Queer News Tonight. The world's first live daily queer evening news show, out of the closet and into the headlines on Q News Tonight. Well, thank you again, America, for joining Queer News Tonight. We are live. This is an unedited LGBTQ evening news show, so anything can happen and you can see it. This evening, we bring you the news of and a perspective from the LGBTQ community. I'm your anchor, Al Ferguson, and these are my co-anchors, and it's going to be fun. Faye What? And candidate for mayor of Wilton Manors, Chef Josie. So let's queer up the news. Starting Tuesday, November 3rd, Election Day, Happening Out Television Network will launch the premiere of, how about this, Good Morning Gay South Florida. Watch this. Well, there you have it. First announcements for Tuesday, November 3rd. It's Election Day, by the way. It's going to be at 8 a.m. live on all social media channels and then live on demand throughout the rest of the day, because this is going to be daily, focusing exclusively on the news of Gay South Florida. Gay South Florida's most interesting LGBTQ personalities, Gay South Florida's groups, Gay South Florida's charities, only Gay South Florida prides, and only Gay South Florida fun, including bars, restaurants. Do you know anything about a restaurant, Josie? I think we'll be talking about it, events and more. So it is really quite exciting. Make sure you tune in. Tonight, we are going to begin at Queer News Tonight with the queer headlines. The LGBTQ community in America is diverse, and the LGBTQ community around the world is vast. And we bring you the bullet points of queer news for today, Wednesday, October 21st, 2020. Let's begin by querying up Vote 2020. Tiffany Trump's speech over the weekend at LGBTQ Trump Pride was a total train wreck. Watch this.
So now I'm here to speak to you because I've educated myself. I understand what I believe in now, because I'm not going to speak about politics or policies until I have my own beliefs. And guess what? I'm here, standing here for a reason, and people can say whatever they want to say, but I'm here because I support my father. He supports all of you, and we are here to fight for equality, democracy, to keep America and make it better. Yes, Trump Pride! I wish I had some hats. I was like, I want to throw out I also really want a Trump Pride hat. If anyone has one, want to come give me one.
Really? Really? In a first for a Republican politician borrowing the Pride slogan from the LGBTQ community to apparently celebrate our community. We never expected much from the Trump Pride event that occurred in Tampa this weekend. Despite our lax expectations, Tiffany Trump's speech at the event was somehow both under and overwhelming. She seemed noticeably nervous despite the small crowd, and her train of thought about Trump's support of the LGBTQ community was barely coherent. It's difficult to blame her when Trump's track record for the gay community is just as confusing. Most curiously, Tiffany consistently omits the T from the acronym, which at this point is likely no accident. The first openly gay LGBTQ presidential candidate member, Richard Grenell, also participated.
Okay, where do we begin here, guys? Trump Pride. Blasphemy. Like, just seeing those two words together don't even make any sense, all right? Next, how do we get Tiffany Trump? Like, it's like getting, like, Donna Kardashian to, like, be the spokesperson for your makeup. You know, like, I don't get it. And is it just me, or does she look like a blow-up doll?
Oh, no, she's
right?
She's totally a blow-up doll, Faye, or like a effed up Barbie, or a new version of what's that? The one that Aaron loves so much, Britney Spears. Okay, so I mean that's what the Republican Party has resorted to. That's what Donald Trump is resorting to. I thought he didn't even like his daughter Tiffany Trump. So what is this? Their relationship on the men's?
Yeah. And, to be honest with you, I would have defended this event. I hosted and moderated the National LGBTQ Vote 2020 debate on Friday night, the night before this event took place. Josie participated as a pre-debate analysis. I would have been completely fine with this event in Tampa if they would have talked about it as a Trump rally or a Trump LGBT rally. They didn't do that.
Right.
They specifically chose words to be offensive and appropriate, which is how Trump has done it for the last 5 years. Trump Pride is not pride. Trump Pride is not LGBT. And that's what I object to. And frankly, that's what was offensive about this event.
I'm offended. It's time to queer up gay culture. It's hashtag HBCU Out Loud Day. Today, the Human Rights Campaign is hosting the second annual hashtag HBCU Out Loud Day. This day was introduced in 2019 as an official celebration of the LGBTQ communities and historically black colleges and universities. It is a special day to uplift those communities and to celebrate HBCU LGBTQ resilience.
Next, we queer up the USA. Atlanta Airport honors 50 years of Pride. It's that time of the year again, and Atlanta is hosting its 50th annual Pride celebration. And Hartsfield-Jackson is getting all dressed up to mark the occasion. The bright rainbow-colored LED display that greets Atlanta's visitors will be one in-person aspect of this year's virtual event lineup. The entire city is contributing, from the aquarium to the gay penguins at the zoo, and the world-famous airport is no exception.
I didn't know penguins were gay. That's very
just these two in particular.
Next, let's queer up the USA, and reporting Oberfell and Hodges have reunited to oppose Amy Coney Barrett's nomination to the Supreme Court. The plaintiff and the defendant of the landmark gay marriage equality case are reuniting to protest Amy Coney Barrett's appointment. While the two sides were at odds in 2015, they are joining hands to make known the potential danger facing SCOTUS if a right-wing extremist like Barrett fills the empty seat on the court. This instance is particularly notable because while both sides were personally pro-marriage equality, they have not joined forces on any other cause.
It's time to queer up entertainment. Teen Wolf's Tyler Posey talks blowing dudes and bottoming. The 29-year-old hunk is opening up more than ever. He recently joined OnlyFans, where he hosted a Q&A and revealed to viewers that he has been with men before. He was careful to state that his experience with men is limited to oral sex, but fans are now curious to know more about the star's sexuality.
Oh my God, what is it about this Teen Wolf? I mean, if I have to hear about this guy anymore, OnlyFans, IHO, now Queer News Tonight, put your pants on, man. It's like, I don't know, isn't there another outlet?
So says the lesbians. I'm totally fascinated. Wait, did I share with y'all I'm totally fascinated?
Oh, yeah. I just heard.
I can
wait,
see the
have I
drool.
answered your questions about gay America? Gay men are totally fascinated. Anything else to talk about here?
Clearly.
That you're totally fascinated. This is not a coming out story. He's not saying anything more than he's had a couple of sexual rendezvous with gay men. And what is up with his tattoos? Does he just know a tattoo guy and he's like, hey, can I practice on you? Because they're like all over the place and they all don't make any sense.
And this is post-COVID. Do you see what we're working with here? I mean, anything.
Did I share with you all I'm beyond fascinated?
Beyond.
I'm not sure I shared that with you.
Beyond.
Well, next we're going to queer up the world. Sri Lankan government reportedly conducting anal virginity test. A new report alleges that the Sri Lankan government is using anal virginity tests to target, persecute, and prosecute gay citizens. The Human Rights Watch notes that these exams are widely discredited as inaccurate, inhumane, and tantamount to torture. Voices inside the country are speaking out to end the practice, which is a flagrant violation of both medical ethics and basic human rights. The test and corresponding laws are frequently used to criminalize consensual same-sex adult relationships.
Well, that's our headlines for today. Next, let's catch up on all the news surrounding COVID-19 with our segment we call Quarantine Quickies. And there is a lot to discuss during this pandemic, so let's get it underway. First, in Quarantine Quickies, Trump promised the LGBTQ community a big, beautiful vaccine before the election. What happened? Watch this.
To be ready around November 3rd. Are you optimistic that will happen? And will that give you a boost in the election?
On the vaccine?
Yeah.
I am. I'm optimistic that it'll be probably around that date. I believe we'll have the vaccine before the end of the year, certainly, but around that date, yes, I think.
For those holding on to hope of an imminent COVID-19 vaccine, the news this weekend that the first could, at the earliest, possibly be rolled out just after Christmas will have likely lifted some of your spirits, but it doesn't follow the Trump line of comments. However, a vaccine, according to Trump, would be out before the election. So what happened? Nothing happened. Trump never had the science on his side when it came to the time frame for a vaccine. Much like many of his announcements about COVID-19, it appears designed only to placate the masses so they don't panic, while ignoring many highly qualified experts who spent just as much time mitigating his disinformation campaign as they did finding solutions to the actual virus itself.
No puedo, guys. No puedo. I can't anymore with this guy. Liar, liar, pants on fire. And what does that mean? A big, beautiful vaccine. Big, voluptuous, curvy vaccine. What does that mean? Like, stop lying to us and trying to get our hopes up. People are dying.
Yeah, I mean, listen, everything that comes out of this guy's mouth is absolutely ridiculous, and no one believes him. And even if it were true, even if a vaccine was created by the time frame that Trump is proposing, I'm going to tell you right now, half of this country, we know, would not be participating in that vaccine.
Yeah, and beyond that, let's be real. Let's talk real LGBTQ America. Make sure you guide your actions based on knowledge and information. A vaccine is not imminent. Many have withdrawn or paused their vaccines because they're rushing. Half of you are not going to take the vaccine, as Josie has just said. And even if there was an acceptable medical conclusion, it is going to take quite a long time to be able to manufacture and distribute it. So make sure that you continue to protect yourself and not assume that Trump has told us the truth on vaccine, because he has not.
Let's continue on with quarantine quickies. Bathhouses outlasted the AIDS epidemic, but will they survive COVID-19? The gay bathhouse industry has been through this before, targeted as a hotbed of viral and moral contagion. Though bathhouses are often cornerstone institutions of a robust queer scene, an indicator that a city is welcoming to gay residents and visitors, they have been demonized by authorities for much of modern history. But they can be profitable. Demand for a safer place for casual sex has kept them alive, at least until COVID-19 came along. While AIDS led to a dramatic increase in fear when it came to using them, COVID-19 shines a harsh reality that governments will not even allow them to be operated without protocols that largely ruin the point of a bathhouse. Good, clean fun.
I wish they had bathhouses for girls. But they don't, because we don't do those kind of things, as Al knows.
Can we go back to the Teen Wolf story?
Listen, bathhouses. All of my favorite porn, takes place at bathhouses. So we can't let go of bathhouses. Stay strong, people. And lesbian bathhouses, if you want to start one, I'm game. Phase one.
All right. What? All right. Well, that's the news of coronavirus for today. Before we finish up the show, we want to recognize some of our partners. First up, Happening Out Television Network is broadcasting tonight on our new permanent set in partnership with Sunshine Cathedral, the world's largest queer church here in Fort Lauderdale, Walton Manors, Florida. We joke this is the gayest place on planet Earth, and interesting tonight, to my left and to my right, it's a whole different kind of gay. Did I talk about Teen Wolf earlier, by the way?
You did.
Our support of their Sunday celebration is the largest LGBTQ religious broadcast in the world, every Sunday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern, and it's completely live. We encourage you to tune in. Sunshine Cathedral is my queer church. Watch this.
My name is Mark Ketchum. I am the past executive director of SunServe. Sunshine Cathedral is my queer church. Thank you.
Well, we'd also like to thank our set designer, Concepto Modern Living, here in Fort Lauderdale, for making this set in this amazing queer church campus possible. Well, now, perhaps our favorite part of the show. We end tonight's broadcast with the big finish. Short story mentions of LGBTQ news or news with our gay perspective. So here we go. First on queer news tonight, the big finish. A Canadian town has announced it was called Asbestos. It is choosing a new name for the town.
Okay, well, it's really named Asbestos. I had to look that up when I saw that. If my name was a cancer-causing mineral, I guess I'd change it too. You know, they should call it something like Free Shay, but it's spelled free sex.
Free Shay.
Yeah, how did they even get there in the first place, okay? We really need to add a little bit more consciousness to this name calling. It happens with pets. It happens with children, and now with cities. Oh boy.
Absolutely. I am just waiting for there to be a COVID somewhere in Europe that still hasn't gotten the memo that they should have changed their name by now, 2020, and you're still having the name asbestos? Really, Canada? Really? The big finish. This is my favorite story of the day. Pat Robertson predicts Trump will be reelected. And then he says it will spark the end of the world. Watch this.
Trump is going to win the election. And that doesn't mean you sit home and don't vote. That means you get out and do everything you can to work. But he's going to win. That's, I think, a given. But after he is sworn in and his vice president is Mike Pence, then trouble is going to happen. He's going to be challenged by the Chinese as you couldn't believe. He'll be faced probably with some kind of a war.
Wow. Well, this 104-year-old guy is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Let's start there, all right? And the fact that he's saying Trump is the Antichrist, but vote for him, okay, he's nuts. He's lost it.
Guys, listen, I grew up as a Baptist Christian.
Me too.
Okay? And this is basically this is blasphemous that Mr. Robinson would even be saying the things that he's saying, okay? It is so arrogant on behalf of any human, especially, come on, Christians, wake up out there. You actually think you know what God is going to be doing? You actually think you know what God is thinking and when God is going to come again? Even in the Bible it says you will not know. So come on, I mean, really, this is ridiculous.
How presumptuous of us to assume that God even cares what color hair dye Donald Trump is using to bring about the apocalypse. Finally, at least, can we agree on something? Trump will for sure bring about the end of days if he is reelected. Wait, that's it. Can we just agree to that?
Sure, I'm there.
Get out and vote.
Right. The big finish. That's the only way to prevent it, is not vote for him, right? The big finish. I love this story too. Matthew McConaughey is little Mr. Texas. Or is he? Watch this.
I was like, look at me, little Mr. Texas. And then something caught my eye. I looked on the nameplate that was engraved, little Mr. Texas, and I zoomed in on it and it said runner up.
It's the best ever.
So I questioned, I go, you know what? Would I even be sitting here right now with the life I had if I was raised thinking I was a runner up? So what did that white line my mom do for me?
Oh, Matthew McConaughey. Do you remember back in the 90s when he got arrested for being naked playing bongos? Do you remember that? Oh, wow. He's come such a long way since then. What, Al? What are you going to say about
I was going to say, did I tell you all about Teen Wolf?
Oh, my God.
Let it go, Al. Let it go.
So when I saw this story, I thought he was calling his thing Little Mr. Texas.
Oh my God, that would be such news to my wife. I think that Matthew McConaughey is still on her celebrity pass list. So, I'm going to tell her about this little Mr. Texas.
And of course, the story is they had a Mr. Texas contest. Now, first off, in Texas, and a Mr. contest, all right? And at 10 years old, he was competing, and they had a picture, and he had his mother put a picture up and implied that he had won at Little Mr. Texas. And that's what this story was all about. And he found out much, much later, many years later, that he was actually the runner-up. And he always thought he was Little Mr. Texas. The moral of this story is Texas is more gay than any of us could have ever hoped it to be. They really have to stop being in the closet and just admit it to the rest of the country. Matthew McConaughey just did.
I think so. That is today's news for the LGBTQ community on the world's first daily LGBTQ evening news show.
Remember, if it's important to the LGBTQ community, it's important to Queer News Tonight. But you must help us. Click subscribe on YouTube, ring the bell for updates, and share this news.
We are literally out of the closet and into the headlines. This is the only source of live LGBTQ news in the entire world, and your community needs your support.
You are not alone. We will get through this crisis.
We are here. We are here with you. And this is Queer News Tonight.
And one last opportunity. Happy birthday to Chef Josie's wife, Marcy.
Happy birthday, Marcy.
Thank you for joining us. Did I tell you all about Teen Wolf?
You did.
One more time. I'm Alfred.
Oh!
And on behalf of Faye What? And candidate for mayor of Wilton Manors, the gayest place on planet Earth, Chef Josie, we will see you daily and tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Good night, America.